chat support.
True.
That counts for a lot. And they have Gabby, who I consider one of the most weird carry players of the past 2 years. And this guy is a huge tempo creator. You take a player like that, put him in the off lane, give him a hero like Primal Beast, anything can happen. I don't know if they're that unfavored. I feel like this match is a lot more even than I think people are going to give it on the scorecard, particularly if Tundra don't begin to find their footing, which has been hit or miss for them with this roster that they're trying to gel with super fast, right? Sure, you can put a player like Thompson into this team, world-class player, world-class lineup. How fast can they make it work, especially in a lower bracket elimination game?
Okay, well, we heard from Entity's coach. What about Tundra and their feeling post-draft?
First blood.
First blood!
It's good to see that even TI winners need that boost of confidence and remind themselves they're really goddamn good at the game. And it's a surprise to be seeing them in the lower bracket here. And that is probably something that shakes their confidence. And I agree with you. I think Entity, they are certainly no pushovers, and they are a team that is probably going to test Tundra, especially a team who hasn't really experienced too many lower brackets in their history.
No, arguably had the most dominant TI bracket run of all time, right? So new territory for them. But it is familiar in the sense of, you know, we had the NA DPC yesterday, and now we get some European DPC gameplay today. These are two teams that are very familiar with each other, and sometimes in that interregional matchup, things get really good. So I would not be surprised if these games go long, especially since we have, you know, a Nagasire and CK game. Both these illusion carries making their way back into the meta for good reason. You control the lanes, you control the map, you control the gold and the equilibrium. It tends to work out for you in the long run, especially with how these games are being paced.
And Entity, no strangers to long matches at TI. After all, we heard Tsunami alluding to it earlier. Their best of one against RNG last year went 107 minutes. So we do end up having a long one. Entity is more than prepared for that.
This is a game that's going to get stalled out for sure. And it might be some early action on the lanes. I mean, you have very strong kill lanes, a lot of early synergy, and I feel like a lot of the tempo is going to come down to mid. Normally it's these off laners, but you have a Stormstormer Invoker versus a Thompson Pugna. Two Grandmaster tier heroes here. Can't really ask for anything more signature. It's just going to come down to which of them gets to control the early game a lot more, in my opinion. Does Thompson get to play the aggressive Pugna with the Grimstroke combinations, rotating to these towers, getting early pressure, or do you get first blood on Fishman himself?
Well, second blood anyway, with Fishman giving up that first blood earlier when we had that listening, but good to see he's able to bounce back. What do you think about this 9 Weaver anyway?
It is a hero he's been going back to over and over again. I don't know if he's getting the exact results he wants with it. For me, it's been a little hit or miss, but I understand the power of it, right? If you get into that mid game in a decent position like the Furion, where you're very high net worth on the hero, you just become a fourth core. It's a scary fourth core hero.
Sure.
And that's, I think, how Tundra prefer to operate. Let Thompson make a lot of the space on the map. 9 can become that secondary mid on some of these huge scaling supports like the Shadow Demon he's also like. And suddenly you're just playing up against too much scale for you to conquer in the late game.
One thing that's kind of curious to me is that in the past, when we saw Weaver support, people like to be able to run it with physical damage dealing cores. And here, yes, they have the Chaos Knight, but Pugna, Sand King, really not going to take advantage of the Swarm too well.
No, it's not the best Swarm game, but I mean, Swarm is
turn around, Gabby fighting up against Skeeter. Skeeter is going to just try and man up and see what he can do here. Runs into the brambles, and that's enough for Gabby to get away. Godfrey with the kill on Skeeter, going to Kataomi.
Gonna throw the flood grenade for harass here. Gonna have to back up a little. A lot of resources committed from Kataomi, but happy to get this trade. CK down. Really nice for Gabby's tempo here. And we've seen Primal Beast go first phase for a reason. You give this hero a fast start. He's going to be able to combine with Stormstormer and take the fight around these runes, around the aggressive jungle areas, and scale into the CK as well. Both these teams have really addressed the solution carries.
Going at it again in that top lane. Pivots, goes to Kataomi instead. Hits him with the Inkswell, but he's already disappeared into the Shadow Realm, and Gabby's going to go back for it again. A second time. That's because Fishman has made the rotation, unable to quite get any extra damage in, though. They're relying on that third person to change the narrative here, and now Gabby is in potential to be run down by 9. Gets him with the blood grenade. That's enough.
Big Geminate hit. Level 3 paying off here for 9, especially with his grenades. This is a great blood grenade user in the Weaver. Just chase people down with the Swarm. Grenades slowing them even more. Hits it. Nice counter rotation from Tundra, keeping Skeeter in this lane. That would have been a debilitating death, especially with teleport on cooldown. Stormstormer flees for his life.
You can see pretty clearly
better this matchup.
Yeah, this matchup is going the way of the Pugna for sure. And Stormstormer,
he's gonna get him here.
got him on the swarm, TP away, a desperate one, but the blood grenade again comes through. The extra damage that's required. Thompson thanking 9 for finishing what Thompson started.
Now he's just gonna get 3 runes here, free rain, extra tower damage. Waves are gonna go straight into Stormstormer's tower. He cannot TP back for this disaster on the mid lane. As we were talking about, which of these mids is gonna get the better of the tempo? Well, it is already Thompson on the Pugna. He has a lot to combine with. Like this Grimstroke Pugna combo, this goes back to OG and TI. He is very used to playing this. This is the strength of the hero in Tundra's lineup. Sanking starts to move around. You have Sanking to go and set the stun up, make the team fight easy. And I want to point out that there's some hidden skill in this Pugna with the new Ags where you can do reduce spell damage on enemy heroes. If the debuff lasts a long time, if you go in the fight, you ever get this late Ags, you start channeling it on a primal, channel it on an invoker, even for 3 or 4 seconds, it's like you get hit by a mage slayer. It skews a lot of these magical damage cores going into the Pugna, and this tower's just gone at 5.5.
I mean, is this one of the fastest towers down in this tournament? It's got it.
That is the fastest for sure. Thompson draining his mana pool to take the objective, and he really wants a 6-minute rune.
Well, I mean, haste runes going over to Stormstormer. He'll take advantage of that to help run down Snake King. They'll get the bounty rune before he falls. Stormstormer gets some much-needed golden experience to help him recover after a really rough laning phase against Thompson.
Yeah, he's just going to probably just go wrestle into the fight. You need a recovery Midas at this point. Way too much has been taken off the map. And it's going to give space to Thompson. This is where his next decision, pretty important for Tundra's early game. Do you want to rotate this Pugna? Do you want to just keep farming it up mid? Probably not. It's probably going to be into bottom. Play through the Sand King, kick the Naga out, take another tier 1, and just open up the jungle super early. Sand King can now just leave, play with Thompson, get that combination going, especially if you get Wisdom Rune for an early Grimstroke ultimate, just tying it up.
They know he's here, so they're going to bide their time. Wait for the 7-minute where he pops out. Yeah, they went for the smoke over, but I think they felt the rotation was going to land in time. Fishman desperately trying to get that Wisdom Rune to spawn, but it will not show up in time for him to steal it away.
Let him bottle. Nice little core.
That is very nice. I think they know Fishman's game. I feel like every game I've ever watched a Fishman, he makes that move.
It's not you just take the risk. You're not afraid of death, right? True. Level 5 for 9 here.
Sand King is not a hero that we've seen a ton of, but 33 is making it look good so far in the laning phase. Top net worth, and straight up rush into Vanguard, so now he's kind of untouchable. He's going to go into Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger as his options next. Did you like the Sand King pickup when you saw it?
I think this was a pretty good spot to pick it, because they knew the lane was going to be free. I mean, it's an ancient apparition, not. There's no way they're kicking 33 out of this lane with a strong support in the Weaver. You know he's going to eventually kick the Naga out as well, even if you wanted to leave him in the one-on-one. And then he just overtakes your jungle, starts clearing through stacks. You didn't have any.
Watson does manage to dodge the blast, but he's running into Snake King. Now the rest of Entity was on their way. Can they bail out their carry here? 9 is going to try and get him with the Inkswell, and that's going to be enough damage. But at the same time, Thompson does die, and he was probably worth far more than the Naga Siren was. And they're going to clean house on this one. What a read from Entity.
Gabby shows up at the right place at the right time, and that is a lot of extra XP and gold for Stormstormer who needed it. That's where that first rotation with the Pugna, it's a double-edged hero, right? You're just so damn squishy if these fights end up behind the towers in deep areas where Entity can bring reinforcement. Thompson doesn't get anything done with that early lane advantage. We're all evened up again. So sure, you got this tier 1 mid down, but mid's a different lane than it used to be, right? I don't feel like this tower just debilitates the map.
Yeah, it is way more side lane focused because the map has grown bigger. We see a lot more focus on these deeper side of the map neutral camps rather than the ones that are closer to mid. Less focus on the triangle, which mid lane is usually good at helping to control.
Exactly, Ancient shifted away, so all these little things draw you to the sides of the map instead of mid. This tower was nice for Thompson, but it is not end-all be-all here. It's going to be a lot about these fights, and all of a sudden, Entity. Strike back again. Cores are in solid positions now, right? Skeeter was still suffering up top in this matchup because Snake King left it early. The Tundra, they're going to go back to what they've done all year, which is out efficiency you on the map and get the stacks going. Probably for 33 here, who is always been the main beneficiary. Ancient cap, aggression. Besides Tundra. Wouldn't mind the fast bonsai here if you're just planning to scale. This is the build that will help you go late game against the Naga Siren. You're looking for that Ags, Shivas, maybe even Raid.
I feel like we haven't seen like a big boost in Boots of Travel purchases from before the map was enlarged, but it's got to be way more value, right? The way the map is bigger.
I mean, I was like,
did you ever buy it?
I liked a lot of the others I never got to buy. Man, Dream.
Yeah, you always want what you can't have, I see.
I mean, I think the Boots of Travel are just nice on some of these melee heroes that like to run around in the middle of the fight because they get stuck. Extra boost is no joke in terms of dodging some of the primal spells or getting out of an AA vortex. Sure. There's some value here, and he's still top net worth on this Sand King. Particularly if he wants to join fights like this top, the odds would make a lot of sense. And Skeeter has just been hounded up top. He's trying to defend this safe lane, not giving too much room to Primal Beast. At which point does that break, though? At what point do Entity feel confident enough to try and kick him out of here?
I love that neutrals can defend themselves pretty well from now on. Armlet built up is going to be the play, but Entity still seem to be just, like, they may have countered Tundra's move beautifully, but they haven't really made much aggressively themselves. They seem to be still in kind of mode recovery.
I think they're happy with this, though, based on how that mid lane went initially.
They're not happy with losing their Spirit Vessel completion. No. That's rough for Stormstormer, who's probably just ready to make a big move.
And they're just going to go top. I mean, the move for Endy is to this top lane. To kick Skeeter out of here while he's still here, only level 7. They have a huge amount of magic going in, including this Ice Blast. Just picked up. You have to be careful of your Tundra in terms of who you're showing on the front line, because there's a lot of long-range magic. Go down a Vortex, Gabby charges in, he can potentially have Bedlam on top of him, and then an Ice Blast gets thrown on top, right? I mean, it's a lot of long-range artillery here for Entity to just throw in a core without committing to the fight.
And the anti-healing is a big factor, right? Because they have so many, like there's Inkswell with the shard later on. Gabby charges.
He went late on the tank.
Silence, he's going to be in trouble. The tank, he gets the jump, and a beautiful jump at that. 33 close the door on this fight before it even begins. Gabby and Kataomi are probably going to be run down as well. At least one. 33 with a third number there. Triple kill for him, and Gabby hidden in the trees will barely survive.
That was a guaranteed 4th kill if you saw him. So that is just almost an ultra kill for 33 out of nowhere. Putting an epicenter to better use than I've seen in a long time for level 1 spell. And now they're going to steal Ancient attacks on top of it.
Tundra
he's out of control already, right? That was about as good a blink reveal. We were talking about him going bots and like, let's defend the safe lane. Insta-buys blink, 1130, gets a triple kill into Ancient stack steal, and now he's already up to 1750 gold again. That blink just literally paid for itself.
Yeah, you know, Tundra, when we talk about farming efficiency on the map, especially Ancient stacking, big deal for them, we usually talk about it on their own side of the map here. Them taking away Entity's farm is just going to be so debilitating. A big pickup, though. Dobson, he'll fall trying to pick up a power rune, but 33 is going to show up and maybe get a rebuttal here. There is the Bedlam outlet. The Netherward is doing some serious damage. Can they finish up 33? No, they'll both die under the Sandstorm. And Fishman's going to get run down. No tower to protect you here. 9 gets a double. Tundra will go ahead and defend Thompson's honor.
That move top just cost Entity so much in this game. All of a sudden, your Weaver is ahead of the enemy Invoker here. 9 got a huge amount out of these skirmishes. Full Solar Crest done. A very nice item he can throw just for the bonus armor on these frontliners here. Thompson's still struggling against the AA Blast. I mean, it's hard to just man up in the fight with a hero based on healing.
Gotta get away before Skeeter can grab you.
He's partying into 33's game right now. He's about to run away with it on a hero that eventually does not run away with games. This is not supposed to be like an axe or something where it's mega bad, you get crazy blink strike. Like, hero that has struggled in the meta and well out ahead. You to transition into something, and can Entity kind of stall Tundra's momentum right now, get back in this game, bring Stormstormer once again back into a position where it feels like he can have an impact here. Move top is still looming for Entity. They just can't open up the tier 1s right now, which you can't open up the tier 1s for a Naga lineup. There's just nowhere to go.
Smoke rotation from behind, grabs the 2 supports. Picture perfect for 33 once again. Do have Watson close by, might be able to help Gabby get out. Yeah, he's going to use the song, forced to use it.
I don't blame him. Put 33 to sleep here and get the hell out.
This man's just finding too much.
And it's making it look too easy, right? They just smoke in with like max Ink Swell on the Sand King. It's guaranteed chain stun based on how you can cast it now. This combo is even deadly.
Oh, that is a cute move. He may not be able to get there in time for the stun, but the extra movement speed helps him close the gap on Watson. Watson, of course, using the song to help others, no longer has it to save himself.
9 just setting up everything. One of the best killers in the game.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Thompson
attack.
gets down there immediately. Watson, wow, now you're messing me up. Too many suns in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Arcane Rune for Thompson. That is very scary. Even scarier, BKB is closing in soon. Once he has that, they have nothing to stop him.
Smoke for a minute. And a lot of the good kills they've gotten have come off the back of Fishman getting in there with an A blast.
Radiant's
Down to
bottom
4.
tower is under attack.
So it's got to be Gabby setting it up.
Oh, that would have been fortuitous if they rounded the corner and grabbed that bug in time. 9.
Smoke is just difficult. You look at the map, I mean, where's the Radiant Vision right now? You have one obs around mid, and that's all you see.
Now Entity is here in force, but so is Tundra. The way things have been going lately, it seems like Tundra are going to clear house on yet another team fight. I thought he does manage to stop Thompson there on the side, but Gabby's already dead, so these two supports are left with no cores to help them. Nice TP away from Kataomi, but still hurts to watch your primal beast, the big playmaker you have on your team, fall once again in these team fights.
It feels like you just need TP right or hard something to tank all this magic damage coming out from Tundra, because once they set up the zone of control with Sandstorm, they drop a Pugna ward. You know there's this Ink Swell proccing on somebody that you don't want to just linger around. Hard to commit it, even with a play mail in the highest strength game. And you just got to go back to stalling this game out of mid, get to your next set of items. And right now, 33 dictating where these fights are happening with all the initiation power, and he's still holding this top tower. This is the part that's causing Eddie so many problems on the map. Getting constricted quickly here as 9 running in mid. Another great Ink Swell target, by the way.
Maybe Watson, though, finally showing up to one of these fights. I mean, Naga Siren is not supposed to have to be active, but it does feel like a game where Entity is going to rely on him earlier than they should.
You can have good impact versus supports, even versus the 2 beefy boys. He finds them with this Orchid second, which he's considering. I agree, like you wouldn't want your Naga to have to be this active, but it might be a game where he has no choice.
Magic burst damage, it's gonna be trouble. He's not living through this one. He didn't even have Song of Siren back up again. If they could catch 33 on its way out, unfortunately a tornado totally blind throwing that one out did not clip 33.
Again, the Vision's just not doing any favors right now. The Vision's supposed to come off the Naga being able to shove the waves. Instead they're getting shoved into you. Can't get really deep observers down because you don't control more objectives on the map. Gotta work with what you have right now. And every time Watson goes down, that Orchid gets delayed, which means the chance for Dispel items to come out on the side of Tundra make it less effective. They're kind of racing against the clock here in terms of can Naga drag this game back to the team.
Stormstormer's going to be trying to drag back his own net worth into a somewhat decent position. Again, he's behind 9's Weaver. He's completing the Hand of Midas now, but it's going to be a long road for an Entity comeback if it's even possible.
Just can't get dragged into too many fights. 33 will go back to the pipe as well, so he's going to, maybe skirt a little bit around scaling directly than Naga, but this is a really nice item for the team in all these engagements. Look at it, basically only magic damage for Entity.
This might be for the best. Fishman tanks the death instead of Gabby, who they were setting up on for sure.
Yeah, that was a valuable.
Going through the portal, trying to get out of here.
Under attack.
Tundra are in pursuit. Might be able to find one more. Yep. So he does manage to get out the Shadow Realm before the Silent Air goes for the TP, but the Ink Swell can stop it at any time.
3 continue to control both side lanes here. Not be surprised to see Tundra continue to try and hold this top tier 1.
Dire's top tower
They
is
want
under
him.
attack.
Another example of desperation, calling for some moves you wouldn't normally see. Stormstormer trying to cut waves.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Because the
attack.
Naga Siren just cannot do it by himself, but Tundra has this map locked down.
There's nowhere to go. Even Thompson playing aggressive mid because he just rushed BKB. This is not a greedy Pugna build at all. This is Okay, you have an AA blast, so what? I'm gonna stand here,
Dire's top tower
not take any
is under
damage.
attack.
Gonna abuse the fact that that tower went down early and just play solo. Everything is going through the Sand King right now, so might not gobble up some extra waves. And again, you're talking about this Orchid threat on the Naga. I mean, there has to be some threat that Any set up here in the next few minutes.
Radiant's
It
bottom
comes from the
tower
Primal
is under
Beast
attack.
with Bedlam on top. Or there's still a lot of long-range
Dire's
magical
top tower
bursts.
is under attack.
Some more aggressive wards down. Wards that have stayed up for the most part. They still have that deep ward on the left-hand side of the map on the ancient camp. So Tundra is having so much
Radiant's bottom
information
tower is under attack.
where Entity is and where they're not. Nobody's bottom right now, so free damage on this tier 2.
Orchid is completed. So ideally, Watson gets to shove some of these lanes in. That top tier 1 did eventually try to creep, so open up a bit more space. You can maybe get this primal
Radiant's
BKB.
middle
That's your big
tower is
time.
under attack.
I mean,
Dire's
BKBs
top
are
tower
great
is under
versus Tundra's
attack.
lineup. Negates pretty much everything you can get there.
That ward, it's gonna pay off. Got him after the Manta. 33 has the Inkswell to chain the stun onto his epicenter. Beautiful stuff, but Skeeter could die. Oh, man, what a dodge. Gabby charges right through that red flag, and now Skeeter can continue to chase down, surviving through the Ice Blast easily. Tundra, this is just absolute domination.
There's just nowhere to run. Even 9 looking for
Radiant's
Stormstormer
middle
with the
tower is
dust.
under attack.
That's what everybody after these fights. Again, if that connection with the primal does not hit, you like face it over. You have to be able to land this
Radiant's
onslaught
middle
pulverize
tower
on a
is
big
under
core target.
attack.
Just follow it up with all the spell damage you have. Another engagement where Stormstormer is going to really get to use this vessel in anything.
At this point, if they had Hero to take the Tormentor, they'd be taking even more away from Entity. Beautiful stuff. I mean, this is like relatively old school. Once Grimstroke got put into the game, this is one of the first combos I remember with Sand King Grimstroke.
That's a great Grimstroke one. Tundra really showing how this hero can just enable everything at the same time, right? All 4 of the other heroes are great with it as well, or for both combination. And I mean, yeah, this Sand King one's just even better, that you can perfectly chain stun it now.
9 and 33 are apparently able to do this. I mean, the Swarm actually helps you out quite a bit in being able to do that, right? Tormentor can't kill it, so you're just getting constant minus armor there. Gabby in some trouble, needed to be able to get his BKB. He was closing in on it too. 400 gold away, now knocked down to 600 gold away, and they are going to take that Tormentor. There's just no doubt who's in control of this game right now. Tundra choking Entity out.
Heart for Watson? Heart, is that your go-to now?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be way behind the hearts of both Skeeter and probably 33. They're both going for
I mean,
it.
is Watson even on the far side of the map in this game?
Radiant's top
Really,
tower
no.
is under
Sometimes you can
attack.
get deep in the enemy side and start cutting waves, but I think the early pods playing Sand King just too afraid to go for that type of smoke enemy jungle type play. You just get kicked out immediately.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Even if they caught Thompson, he's got a BKB. The only thing that could actually stop him from there is really, realistically, the pulverize.
I sold that.
Yeah, they'll get the Grimstroke at least. Spirit Vessel, just to make sure in case the Orchid wasn't enough. Stormstormer will nag that last hit. 15,000 net worth lead
Radiant's middle
for
tower
Tundra
is under
at
attack.
23 minutes. Working towards, as you said, 9's going to scale up into a 4th core for Tundra, which just makes this lead all the scarier because they're going to scale really well into it. He's building a nightmare on this support Weaver.
The Orchid, though, does not have a Dispel, and they're gone. That's a 5x streak, 1,000 gold in Entity's pocket there. So Watson making this Orchid net work on the heroes he can find to make it work on right now, which
is under attack.
I guess is pretty much everybody outside of Thompson with the BKB. The pipe on 33 many didn't go for a Lotus, for example, and we have Manta on Skeeter. So you're not really going to find Skeeter in this game no matter what. So you can keep finding some supports, find even a Sand King with this Orchid, get a few more cheeky kills out of it. Suddenly, Watson, number 1 on the net worth chart, could stall this game for a really long time.
They really are banking hard on him. We saw Thompson now has his shards, so really easy way to deal with mass illusion, but it's going to be caught here. Forced to use BKB. Tundra are there in with some reinforcements. can easily kill the Dark Willow. Holding for this Roshan, I believe, as it's gonna go over to the other side in 1 minute, but Tundra are clearly strong enough to do it on the Radiant side if they want it.
There's capability to take this fight. You did get to the BKB on Gabby. I guess if it switched, it might have been even more likely here. This is not a fight you take. Fight capability is slowly going up. They even got a gem. So this is Entity preparing to try and win the next fight at all costs. So they have vision of the Sand King guaranteed when Gabby goes in with the spell immunity and just try and put it to as much use as they can.
Oh, he almost sniped it.
That was pretty close.
It was pretty much the only thing you could hope for on the side of Entity is that they snipe the last hit on Roshan and get that bounty away from Tundra, get a little bit of gold into their own pockets, but not the case. 33, he's going to have hearts. Skeeter completing that as well, and now has an Aegis. Those are going to be some tanky heroes. No BKB, of course, on Thompson right now, but not enough heroes around on the Entity side to really make much of a fuss being the terrorized, but actually gets pushed back and pulled back in then by Skeeter.
There's a shield rune on Watson. I think Entity were needing to fight this, especially if it's behind the tier 2 here. Just gonna have to give it up though. Guild Stormstormer getting some pressure top. I mean, hey, this is a Radiant here on the dire side of the map, so
Dire's top tower is under attack.
the rat action begins.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Little by little. Really Entity's motto at this point in time is one tier 2 remains for them. And all these towers constantly being defended by Tundra. Besides this top one, it's really the only place the Naga Siren and this Invoker have managed to hang out for a while.
That's the thing, it does have to kind of eventually be Stormstormer carries as much as he's gonna have to come back. You cannot rely on the Naga illusions in the fight. You have the Pugna AoE ward off the shard. You have a Grimstroke to eventually create his own illusion off an Ags. You of course have Sand King who's just gonna create his own control that Tundra can sit and not really care. Naga illusions are not going to win you this game, even if it gets stalled ultra late. It has to be the 2 other cores coming back at some point off a team fight. So that's what you're looking for. Wait out this Aegis and get something going on the map. Right now, Skeeter happy to just force the issue with his 2 lives on the heart. Maybe done for Stormstormer. So that's second BKB here. Again, these BKBs are really good in these fights. Not a lot of physical to throw through outside of getting reality ripped off of the shore bug.
Tundra, it would be pretty early to be hitting high ground for much of the games that we've seen anyway. Nobody really wants to hit high ground unless they have an overwhelming advantage. And Tundra do kind of have that already. They have 2.5 minutes to make use of this Aegis.
Would that be the ultimate reverse trap card? Tundra ending the games early. Nobody saw that one coming. Yes, we're gonna push. 27 minutes. Pops and Pugna. Sieging your high ground. I mean, okay, they gave up on the siege. Let's just commit the cores. Daring Entity to go on their front line here.
And it looks like Entity may not oblige. Okay, they're gonna smoke up. They're gonna try and do something here. They're gonna pop the glitch now.
I mean, you have to take this fight. This is Tundra just daring you. If you're not willing to take it, what are you doing?
They're actually going outside of the base goal for 9 instead, who is cutting the mid-wave. This shows how little faith Entity has in being able to take these fights. 9 may end up falling. They just need a little bit more damage. Please tell me they're going to get something out of this. Okay, they do. Meanwhile, Watson was trying to push some of the heroes away towards that bottom lane, stop them from being able to get here. They're here now. 33 is going to make jump forward. BKB immediately activated by Stormstormer, protect himself from these stuns. They'll lose their support, but maybe they can get even more. Immediately an Orchid placed onto the tanking. Remember, he is tanking with that heart, but they have plenty of damage thanks to Watson now being here. They might just be able to cut 33 down the side, trying to get away over that haste rune. No such luck. Thompson turning it around. Great Nether Ward with but a song. Uh-oh. We've got some heroes with BKB. Thompson probably activates his. Immediately tries to get away. Stormstormer into the invisibility. Hiding out Skeeter nicely. The Pulverize's going to be able to grab Thompson while he's magic immune. They know that magic immune is running out too. Thompson needs the help. Where can he get it? He's not going to get it anywhere. Entity somehow making this comeback work for them.
He even got the lever buyback that turns into absolutely nothing for 9. Just crushed his economy. Gabby finding the openings, a nice smoke flank. Honestly, I think they were thinking they were going to have to go all the way around Tundra and look for the smoke from behind. Instead, they just found the Weaver mid. Might have just been a better case scenario. They also got snaking with the Invoker BKB, so both supports out of the fight initially. That's what you're looking for if you're Entity. And Watson, sure, you lose that Rax bottom. I mean, he can't defend it on his own, but you're happy to make that exchange, right? Your Aegis didn't even do anything there. So I'm still holding on to it.
Yeah, I mean, you were in it for the long haul. Now we have an 8,000 net worth lead that was cut down from, what was it, like 16? Maybe even more? I mean, Tundra was way, way far ahead. All they got was a melee barracks? I think that's totally fine for Entity.
Should listen to themselves and not gone high ground.
Exactly. Learned your lesson. Never go high ground.
Now you get some breather. You get to D-ward some map with this gem. The deep ops for Tundra that were locking you down. Suddenly they're all gone. And it's Tundra who lack the vision right now. We're going to have to force the fight blind. Will pick up Skeeter's BKB.
Yeah, much needed since that second life did expire, so.
He is still very big. That is the one thing that Entity were not able to address in that fight is Skeeter. He was able to just sit there and take it. In terms of going on them, it would look very different, especially with a double damage route. That certainly will help the next engagement.
Yeah, a little bit. Entity probably still planning on dodging unless Tundra tries to hit the high ground again. After all, they're closing in on some pretty important items. Gabby the Heart, Invoker trying to get that Aghanim Scepter. Actually went Blink Dagger instead. I thought you needed just more firepower, just more damage against this double Heart. What do you think he's trying to reap out of the Blink Dagger pickup?
I mean, Invoker's damage does come from spells, right? It also comes from just being in there with BKB Alacrity, right? People, Blink allows you to do all of this instantly and maximize the time where you have to debuff immunity versus a lineup that kind of relies on you not having it in order to lock you down. Like, these BKBs are just so valuable for Andy. You need to make the duration they're up work for you and get as much as possible. That's why taking out the supports is nice. You take the Grimstroke out of the equation, suddenly you not having BKB isn't as big a problem because you're removing so much of the control and so much of the combinations. In terms of double suck, double stun, all these stun chains. In some ways, I think snaking is the best target to take out of the fight first, unless you can just kill 33 off the bat. And honestly, 33's item build this game, he had one of the craziest starts on snaking we've seen in a long time, but he transitioned it into pipe heart. And what these items are great for is that like early high ground timing, going with the team, sieging that base, saying go on me, my region's gonna be too much for you right now. It's not gonna be some early like Shiva's Ags that would have dealt with the stationary fight into Naga, Invoker, post BKB, that type of thing better, right? He's pretty susceptible to getting bursted from physical damage. He just doesn't have any armor. He even went for Yules. So a lot of extra utility and Dispel on the same, but you're looking at 10 armor, the bonus from a Cloak of Flames. Start getting hit by this Alacrity, you're gonna melt.
Yeah, we saw that in the last fight anyway. Second round of Tormentors are coming up, so Tundra will take theirs first. And at this rate, they're going to be capped out on it. Skeeter doesn't have his.
Surprised he didn't try and solo it. Just for the highlight.
Later on, Aghanim Scepter, he can do it.
He's going that Axe. So pretty interesting to see him go this. I think it is one of the unexplored areas of Pugna in the current patch. Just being an anti-spellcaster, not off of the ward, but off your ult. It's not really how people perceive the hero, because a lot of these matchups are still seen as more okay to play as long as you have Gibby right in. Right? Yeah. This Drain hit gets rid of a lot of the damage on Entity's side, particularly in the Primal Beast if Gabby just goes in. So I like that Thompson's going back. Okay.
Careful there. Can't afford any more Tormentor dust. I hope that's a stat they put in future Battle Pass compendiums. How many players are going to die to a Tormentor?
How many of those are Fishman?
Bloodthorn now done for the Naga Siren. Another big item pickup for Entity. Does also mean there is a bit of a downside to this Naga Siren being so far up the network chart. Does mean he is going to be capped out kind of soonish. You know, he only has that one slot that's a Wraith Band slot. Then you start getting some diminishing returns on any of your follow-up items from there.
Yeah, it's interesting you needed the Bloodthorn. I almost think the defensive value in it is better than the offensive camp here. Right, like him getting that Mage Slayer build-up, getting extra magic resist. That seems really nice for Tundra's line. Whether he can actually get in here and use the active off it, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Dispel building up.
Guys, blast on cooldown. Tundra is more than willing to take the fight. Katomi's going to be in some trouble here. Self-Fuel trying to protect him, get out the Terrorite, ducked it in on the 3. Came up together as a result, and Watson Gabby immediately pops on this opportunity, taking out the back line. Thompson and Nines Weaver are both dead. Meanwhile, Skeeter is trying to do what he can, but he can't really touch this Naga Siren too much. Song's going to go out. The BKB means that only his hero can do the damage, so the illusions are rendered totally futile. They don't do anything, and now with 33 caught in the corner, he's gonna try and burrow strike over the side. That's for TP up, and they have the vision to be able to stop him. Katomi's gonna make sure he stays dead with a buyback and Yule's usage. 3 dead on the side of Tundra. Heroes that do not have buyback, all of a sudden, Entity went from, okay, this game could be over by 20 minutes or something, to now they're gonna even out the net worth lead. They're gonna get the Aegis. They're gonna get the cheese.
These EMPs with the suck on them, they're so annoying. It ruins your positioning in a lot of these fights. Just dragging you into awkward positions. But the biggest thing here is Katomi with this Terrorize on 3 tops and BKB. He got nothing off in that fight. Just did not see it coming at all. And all of a sudden, you're just stuck in a bad engagement where you don't have the damage to take this. I mean, Skeeter's BKB is great here. What's it doing? Absolutely nothing. Naga's just healing through everything. 33 never even gets an epicenter off in this fight. A lot of things wrong on the initiation there for Tundra, and maybe not respecting the turnaround potential. Especially going up the hill like that. This is the type of game where you rather get these BKBs out from Entity and then take the fight afterwards. I think just running into them and taking that into 8 seconds where they're happy to sit there and hit you back. Yeah, you've been ahead this game, but you're not that far ahead, right?
Sure.
Items don't count for a lot in the physical man battle here because it's only Skeeter during that duration.
You think that Ice Blast being on cooldown just wasn't enough at advantage for them to like force it? They need to take more methodical fights, which we've known Tundra for.
I mean, there's definitely some misexecution there, right? Like if Thompson gets BKB and he gets all his spells off, that can look very different for sure. All these things are like a bit hindsight, but they definitely got clumped up on that ramp and they got punished hard. And all of a sudden you're looking at a 1K game with an Aegis on Watson. This is where that Bloodthorn feels great because now he can just go in and start manning up on people and doesn't even care if he dies.
And now the Naga Siren illusions are strong enough to really start taking some map control away from Tundra, whereas before it felt like so much of this Pugna and Phantasm illusions running down the lane were actually securing more. Aghanim Scepter almost done for Stormstorm. So if you can get the lockdown, especially since the Ancient Apparition got the shard, right, you could have the possibility of hit him with the Ice Blast while the Sunstrike Cataclysm is raining down on him. That by itself is going to be enough to wipe out the supports, maybe even more.
You can always sleep Kata.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleep Kata Ice Blast for sure.
I don't know if that's what you really want to go for, but you can pull it off. You're good enough.
I mean, the offensive sleep, and then they immediately come out like Thompson's going to use the BKB. That's a dream for Gabby. Because Gabby's like, okay, you used your BKB. Yeah, I'm going to slam you into the dirt now.
That's why the BKBs are so powerful for any. If you just go in on Gabby, BKB, and you start pulverizing somebody, you drop a Kata there. What's the counterplay?
Yeah, I mean, their whole counterplay is, I guess it's like the Spell Shard heals, right? It's the Ink Squell that heals and also Hard Dispel. We also have the Pugna heals, but the Ice Blast counters so much of that.
I mean, I guess the strong Dispel from Snake is becoming more and more important.
Yeah, it is.
Like, throw it on the Snake King, throw it on Heater, and let it break some initiation chain from Entity potentially. But a lot of their spells they're throwing out are just AoE, right? Like, we saw in that fight, you get hit by Terrorize, you get hit by, like, Ice Wall, Song, the Onslaught through, these Ice Vortexes. None of these spells really care about you hitting a strong Dispel on one of your cores. Outside of maybe the Orchid. That's one of the things that honestly just caused Tundra more problems than I thought would have been in this game. Especially with the timing that Watson got it at. But catching these Weavers, catching heroes without the Dispel later on in the fight, it's just sealing the deal. And now you have an Axe on the Primal. A lot more AoE magic damage coming through.
Yeah, in that last fight, the Terrorite set up Gabby to get in there, but his AoE damage was nice. When you get Aghanim Scepter, you can actually start soloing heroes.
He's going to be a problem.
Long, drawn-out fights that were supposed to go the way of the double hard pickups of the Chaos Knight Sand King. Now going to start playing against them when a Primal Beast is getting round and round after his Aghanim Scepter. Gabby, the smoke runs into Thompson, but on the other side of the trees, they don't see him. Do not react accordingly to catch him.
Remember, this Proud Beast still has a cheese. He's a great cheese target. There's no real anti-healing on Thunder's side. Yeah, should almost guarantee get it off in this next fight. Even when Martyr's played, the extra tank ability exists like that.
Good forward here. Did manage to find the real Naga Siren. Not that Tundra going to do a whole lot with that just yet, but if they can kite it out a little bit, Skeeter jumping pretty far forward. Got grabbed. Wolverine's before he can get off the Phantasm, and he's dead.
Skeeter, you are not the one playing with your food anymore. You are the food. Lingers way too long. No BKB, no Phantasm.
Got the silence, now the song. Looking to just grab as many heroes as possible. It's only going to be this Weaver, but they also spot Snaking there in the corner. Nobody has the mobility to stop it though. Thompson, smart move. Smokes up with the ninja gear and immediately runs down the mid lane, knowing that losing their carry puts them in a position where they could be losing barracks. He's got to get out there and cut the creep waves. As long as he doesn't get caught in the process, Stormstormer knows he's around here somewhere. Misses the tornado. Thompson deeper into the trees. If he got caught there, if he got spotted, he would die. He does not have his BKB.
This is where some of those Pugna games just start to feel bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason we don't see his hero a lot. It's because when the games start to go wrong, it can go really wrong. And you can't rely on him to just play a defensive-oriented Pugna with saves on a core, because that A blast is always there. There's a lot of interrupts from Invoker. Becoming a very tough game for him. Despite having a tremendous early game here. Thompson struggling to make his impact felt in these fights, outside of dropping a Nether Ward and hoping it's enough. Have just reversed all the momentum in this game, and now they're the ones with 10k gold lead. It's like just cruising into this ultra late with Invoker scale. There's a reason this guy's got almost 3,000 games on him.
The Invoker scale, I mean, we were talking about it early on of like this Hannah Midas, will it get the Invoker back into the game? A little bit doubtful that it would, but he got there. And now, Kataomi, who also went ahead of Midas, he can also be a scaling factor for entities. So it's not like it's really going to be stopping anytime soon. He's got a Hannah Midas, and as part of the components to his Aghanim Scepter in his gold bank right now. So
bottom 3 to top 3. This game has been everywhere, but he has found his footing now. He's just in the late game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Let that momentum slip. We're going to try and claw back with the smoke forward. A jump onto Gabby. A hard hero to bring down. They got 9. Plenty of chain stuns. Yeah, they did find 9, and Gabby gets the half health before he has to use his BKB. Now he's going to charge back in with the Eagle Scepter. Put on the Thompson. BKB in 12. Both being trying to get him out of there. What a grab there with the soul bind, though. Double stock going out. BKB from Stormstormer trying to get him away. Well, Watson protects these heroes with the Song of Siren. Activates down. He'll get equal down. Right for this Chaos Knight. One-on-one. This carry battle, it is no match.
Stormstormer, 200 HP. 13 got frozen. Could not finish this Invoker off.
Even the supports are surviving through this one. Thompson in trouble with Gabby and Watson surrounding him. Finally, jump forward from 33 will help finish off the Ancient Apparition, but he's being kited around now. A stun on its way, hiding underneath this Sandstorm. Desperate, trying to keep Entity at bay, but they will come and hit hard with Gabby. Charging straight through that Sandstorm and flattening the Scorpion.
That fight almost got turned off of a crazy Sandstorm in the back off 33 and a great leash from Snaking. But honestly, these BKBs are just doing way too much for Entity right now. And Watson, there's just nothing controlling the Naga in the fight. He is putting out the most damage right now, just shredding people. Too many problems to deal with right now. Which fire do you try and put out first? And all of it went on Gabby at the start. That is just not the target you want to be going on if you're Tundra. And one Gabby is very happy to take up with this Martyr's Blade. You don't have to use the cheese. It's just heart regen. 5,000
Seeing this carry matchup, I mean, the moment we got the butterfly on Watson, things really did start to turn. Yeah, Skeeter can get an MKB, but it's really not doing much for you. This battle is an illusion battle, not a hero versus hero. It's all about who's using those illusions more effectively.
And the Hex on Watson, I mean, that fight started off with 9 getting nothing off. He was trying to scout and play aggressive with BKB. It's another instance where a hero on Tundra with BKB that is supposed to guarantee them an entrance in the fight doesn't get it all. The initiations have just been all Entity for the last 20 or 25 minutes here. They will reap their reward as they get a full lane and 2 tier 3s.
Game started with Tundra taking one of the fastest towers in the tournament, taking one of the fastest barracks in the tournament, and now they're the ones dramatically behind. 21,000 net worth lead for Entity. A full lane of barracks down in the bottom lane. And a Roshan fight that they have to contest, but have no momentum going into it. Skeeter, his smoke breaks and immediately the retreat.
And this is just Tundra hoping the smoke works out. Hoping that Skeeter can somehow create some sort of opening off illusions. Phantasm up in 10.
Gabby, once again, wanting to be the target, trying to be the person to break the smokes, get the information. He's got that cheese still after all. Kataomi's looking forward, trying to get an initiation. 33 gets his jump on the Invoker. Immediate Cataclysm. Skeeter already down to half health. Pops Phantasm, tries to go back to Watson, but Watson is kiting this one out. They don't need to fight it right now. Oh, go by double pull back in. Could that be good enough? No, the Terrorize pushes away all the Chaos Knight. 33, he jumps in, trying to control up Watson as long as possible, but the song goes off, bails him out, and now he starts healing back up. Gabby's ready to get this going already, popping that trample, wants to be able to lay down these cores. 33 with the Sandstorm trying to protect himself. If those Impales can do enough, maybe they can still turn this one. Maybe Tundra still has a chance. And Skeeter goes back in, trying to go for the big primal beast, but he is tickling him. It is not real damage. Thompson is draining a lot though. Maybe it's Thompson who can do this one, but the silences are still a problem out of the BKBs. He's doing what damage he can for the heart. He's rectifying any bit of damage that is being done. Enemy are healing up time after time, and the Ice Blast will put that heal out of the place. This fight has gone on so long, but no heroes of Entity are dying, and every single one of them of Tundra will fall.
They just can't kill anybody. There's way too much sustain in these types of fights. Especially this Naga song. You're healing up heroes with percentage off of such high HP pools here. Gabby, I would love to see the amount of damage Gabby has taken this game. They probably killed him 10 times over, and yet still not once.
Yeah.
I mean, Tundra are putting out the deeps. It's just not all going into one target. It's all getting spread. 33 does find Stormstormer again. This is the target you want. Another great soulbind, and what does it yield? The song resets everything. We still have some BKB duration up, and then Gabby just goes to town. Not to mention second Ice Blast. I mean, you can't win the fight off one. The second one should do the trick here. You're just looking at potentially Megas.
Yeah, Tundra, they don't have the buybacks to be able to contest this really with their full squad. This is looking like the buildings are going to die too quickly. Les Thompson can somehow persuade them not to hit the buildings and go for him instead. Jumps forward, goes 2-man throw strike, not too bad. Cataclysm goes down. Thompson's got to dodge that one, but 33 can't dodge anything. Not when he's been grabbed by the Primal Beast. Locked down there. More draining from Thompson, and they are going to be able to force Entity back here. They respect the fact that with that buyback from 33, they still could get caught in a sticky situation. They leave that final melee barrack still up.
Thompson is struggling, man. Life Drain is an okay spell, but it just looks like it doesn't exist in this game. You have cores with 50% plus magic resist sitting on heart regen. It literally doesn't lower your HP at all.
Yeah, and the whole idea we're talking about with the Aghanim Scepter, maybe lowering some of the damage that's coming out from these heroes, particularly the Primal Beast. Maybe he starts doing nothing in these fights. Well, it's only just now here. All these long light drains, he didn't have the Axe.
At least now you're getting some utility effect out of it.
Yep.
You cannot rely on this
fight Bloodthorn. Watson does not put his hero in danger. He lets Gabby charge for it. You said, you take him out. I'm going to wait for that second life. And sure enough, Skeeter does the buy. He immediately buys back. Soulbind onto 2 cores here is pretty nice. But the Song of Siren ruins everything. Here comes the Ice Blast. Lines up. Goes straight for 9 and Thompson. Thompson pops BKB trying to kite backwards. Gabby's going to be target once again. Puts himself forward. Gets the Dick Spell. Turns around. Goes for Thompson without that BKB. Yeah, they'll just pound those mounts into dust.
Skeeter finally back. He still has a Phantasm for 9, however.
Yeah, he's doing absolutely no damage. You're just his hero. In fact, he pops the BKB, and now he doesn't do anything as Gabby once again grabbing a hold of these heroes, not letting them go anywhere through this one. Runs over the Sand King as well, and Entity do it. A comeback, one of the biggest disparities, one of the fastest disparities in this playoff so far. Tundra had a full